today to the Naked Turner Studios. I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a background and bio on myself because a lot of people don't really know what got me started in wood turning, and then from there starting to actually shoot video of the turnings that I was doing and posting them here on YouTube. So I thought I would share a little bit of a backstory about myself. I was born in 1966 to two very bohemian, what some might call hippie parents, who raised me in a very non-conventional and freeing way for me, allowed me to explore a lot of different things throughout my lifetime, and I want to give thanks to them first and foremost. They're part of what has, well, they're the part of what has gotten me to this point in my life, and I just want to give thanks to them. My father was a woodworker, wood turner, metal worker, welder, jeweler, home builder, tree planter, and did numerous things. My mother was a homemaker as well as teacher, and worked in various capacities as bookkeeping and helping with children who needed a little additional help and things like that. I have been involved in the motion picture industry for most of my life. I started out at a fairly young age working at a sound stage in San Francisco, and was kind of just working as a production assistant in a specific facility, helping to facilitate what I called M&M, or maintenance and morale. I really enjoyed doing that and learned a lot in that process, and I want to give a lot of thanks to Janet Coleman for helping give me a sense of pride in the work that I was doing. Soon after that, I was also employed by my father, who allowed me to become a tree planter with him up in the great Northwest near Montana and Idaho, planting some close to 50,000 trees in my tree planting career, and I managed to do that in only 3.5 seasons of tree planting. So I felt fairly lucky having had that experience and making many friends that were tree planters and fellow enthusiasts of outdoors, and stewarding our resources wisely. I then got into being a set maker and building scenery for the motion picture industry. So in doing that, I learned how to create incredibly complicated, fairly involved pieces of woodwork that were then used to create a scene or sell a product or whatever it might be. I learned in that trade. I became a union member, a local member of the IATSE Local 16 in San Francisco, and I want to give a thanks to my local as well as mainly all of the wonderful people that I've gotten to work side by side with in that industry over the years. Very powerful, creative group of people who are constantly thinking outside of the box. Thank you for that. I was then working for high-end clients, producers and homeowners that were extremely needy and a lot of times maybe not as nice as they might want to be, but for whatever reasons were lashing out in ways to people that I was working for or through, and started getting burnt out on a little bit of that process. And it was at that point about 5 years ago where I got very lucky and I started wood turning. In doing the wood turning, I found it very therapeutic, and it helped me to find and reignite a love for woodworking again in my life that I was starting to lose due to just doing so much of the same kind of thing for other people and not so much for myself. So wood turning became a therapy for me to keep enjoying the woodworking that I'm actually happen to be fairly good at, thanks to the DNA that was handed down to me from my parents and grandparents and their parents before them. I'm also an enthusiast of making my own tools and doing a lot of things on my own. So the lathe was a natural way for me to continue making things on my own. I really enjoy it. And then what happened was I started wanting to share some of these experiences of wood turning with my father, who lived in Mexico at the time. So I decided to post a video on YouTube so that he could then tune in and watch it. It was the easiest way for me to then exchange information with him while he was living at a fairly far distance from me, and I didn't have the means to travel back and forth to see him, and neither did he. So we were kind of separated by distance, but YouTube enabled me to then post some things, and it excited him again to the point where he started doing more turning, and then he would share pictures with me, and I would post video on YouTube that he would then comment on, share with his friends. That's how I got started in the YouTube community. So I just wanted to give a little background about all that, and from 5 years ago when I started turning and had a pretty funky little Rockwell lathe. I learned so much on that lathe, and then it made me go out and buy another one after about a year. I decided, okay, you are pretty serious about this, and you're making some stuff that is worthy of you getting something a little bigger. So I moved on to another Delta lathe, but a larger 16-inch throw, 2 horsepower motor, and a variable speed. Since then, I have made the upgrade to this Powermatic, and an update on that. Powermatic did send me out the switches that I was looking for, so I have those, and I've made repair on one of them, and then I'm planning to do the repair on the remote switch soon. So that's kind of a little update about me, just so you get to know a little bit more about me. I have 3 wonderful children and an amazingly supportive wife, and what can I say? I'm very blessed and lucky, and thank you, YouTube subscribers, for being a part of my journey and allowing me to create and give me feedback and comments, and help me on my journey to becoming a better woodworker, a better person, and somebody who continues to enjoy thinking outside of the box.